This is Aaron Gilmore from Ghost Adventures, and you're listening to Parax Radio.
Those geek ladies, Sean and Victoria from Exploring the Paranormal with Geeks Paranormal, are at it again with another amazing season full of paranormal celebrity interviews with amazing guests and stories of haunted locations and so much more. You will hear it first on Para X. Tune in Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Central. You will not be disappointed.
Parax is changing, and it's only going to get better. Stay tuned to find out how.
Hi, Barry McGuire here, inviting you to come along with Marla Brooks, and let's start stirring the cauldron together on Para X.
Stirring the Cauldron with Marla Brooks, Thursdays at 9 o'clock on Para X. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Welcome to another Monday night here on the Shadows Radio. I am Rebecca.
And I'm Bill.
And we got our happy faces on.
Everybody get happy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're here. It's another Monday night. We're excited to talk to you.
It is Monday night, and I am excited.
Yes, and Cece has requested a show about Elvis's alien love baby. However, due to lack of preparation time, since the request just came in like 10 o'clock last night and we didn't really have a lot of time to do any research on that, we'll have to stall that one out till next time.
I want to know about Elvis's alien love baby.
Yeah. I don't know if it's Elvis was the alien who had the love child, or Elvis and an alien had a love child, or if Elvis's alien, like his pet alien, like Alf, loved a child. In which case, that's just weird.
Well, Elvis didn't die. He just went home. That's what they said.
You just quoted a movie.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That wasn't a movie. That was a prequel to actual stuff.
Wait, what?
Yeah. You know how they say, art imitates life and life imitates art, So, you watch these movies and then like in 10 years, it all comes true. They're trying to prep you.
Oh, so the Men in Black are just 10 years away? But
Well,
that movie
they're
came out
already here.
so that movie came out like 20 some years ago.
I know, right? So, so Elvis is somewhere in Vega or whatever they go.
Yeah.
It's just a thought. Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody agrees with me, go ahead, put it on the chat room. If you're listening, go into the chat room and we'll be happy to answer your questions. Join in the chat of whatever we're talking about at that time, or make up whatever you want. Like CZ wants to hear about Elvis, so
no, she doesn't want to hear about Elvis. She wants to hear about Elvis Alien Love Baby.
Wow.
And all of our listeners have just dropped off.
Yep, there's one,
and they're gone.
Oh, we're good. We got 2 tonight, so we're good.
I want to see. Hold on. I'm just curious because I never really check the dashboards while we're doing our show.
Right.
Because
just
to see kind of where people are dialing in from.
Yeah,
and there's someone currently logged in from Nassau in the Bahamas.
That's where I would be logging in from if
I would not be logging in to talk to you if I was in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, no,
I would not
be
talking to you people.
Between podcasts and the reach of the internet, how many people are interested in the paranormal and the historical and all the genres we talk about, are all over the world, and they have access directly to us. So I think that's awesome.
Well, there's Newark, New Jersey, Tobyhanna, Pennsylvania, Anderson, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, San Francisco, California, Carnegie. Oh, that's Kara. Hi, Kara.
Yeah.
Maple Heights, Ohio, San Pablo, California, Womelsdorf, Pennsylvania. That's a fun one to say.
Yeah, Womelsdorf.
Forest Hills, New York, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Fort Worth, Texas, Adrian, MI is Michigan, right?
I think so.
Yeah, Adrian, Michigan. Oh, these are fun. Chicago, Illinois. I stopped scrolling. Sorry. Denver, Colorado.
Texas, that's Rain.
What'd you say?
Rain said, Texas, that's me.
Hi.
Yeah, well, thank you, everyone, all over the country who is listening. That's amazing.
Yep.
Yep.
I love it when people tune in from all over. And shout out to the guy in the Bahamas. Man, that's dedication to a show.
True.
I'm on a beautiful island. Let me listen to paranormal radio.
It's either that or his phone's just stuck. Got to beat it on sand or something.
He forgot to log off when he shut his laptop down. Whoops. So.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so tonight we're going to talk cryptids.
Cryptids!
But as I firmly told you, the Jersey Devil and Bigfoot are off limits because we've already talked about them a lot.
I didn't talk about Bigfoot, but, I there is one part that we may want to hit on.
Do not hit on Bigfoot.
Come on, he could be an alien.
Do not hit on Bigfoot.
Well, I'm going home.
All right, go ahead. See you later. Wait, you're already home. All right, why don't you start with your cute one?
What's that? Oh, you want me to start with the cute one?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to start with Momo. And Momo looks to me like a Teletubby that forgot to shave for a year. He's really cool looking. If you get a chance to look him up. He's yellow, he's bright and fluffy and happy. So Momo is short for the Missouri Monster, a mysterious ape man similar to Bigfoot, which is said to inhabit the forest alongside the Mississippi River as it passes through Missouri. First reported in 1971, Momo is described as 7 to 8 feet tall with a broad pumpkin-shaped head and is supposedly covered head to toe with a thick, dark fur. According to some accounts, the creature is notoriously aggressive and is able to produce a grotesque smell. Yeah, kind of could be related. Even worse than the skunks in order to ward off would-be attackers. So Momo is said to be like a Bigfoot type thing. The picture drawn does not look like it. He's cute, but every part of the country has and world has their own creature that they adopt as a kind of like a statesperson, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's cute. If you get a chance, look that one up, and he's cool. The next one, and these are ones we found that are like not on your foreground of cryptids. These are ones that are kind of like in the background. So
Yes.
let's give them their day. A hool. Ahools are enormous carnivorous bats that are said to inhabit the rainforests of Java in Indonesia, believed to have a wingspan in excess of 10 feet, making them roughly the same size as a condor. Ahools are said to be covered in a thick brown or black fur like fruit bats, but unlike bats, have long, powerful legs and claws and are supposedly capable of pouncing on and snatching up live prey, including humans. The stories are to be believed from open ground. So they'll come down. If you're in the middle of the field, see one coming, you better run. Sightings of ahools are often dismissed simply as mistaken glimpses of owls, eagles, and other large birds of prey that inhabit the same rainforest. But some sources claim that the creatures do indeed exist and may be isolated as yet a undiscovered species descended from the Petasaurus. I guess that would be like a what's the word I'm looking for?
Pterosaurus.
Pterodactyl.
Yes.
That kind of thing. Yes. Now, in Africa, I guess it is. There's African cave bats or whatever that have like the 5-foot wingspan, and
yeah, they're enormous,
huge. I mean, they're kind of scary creatures. But so I could kind of see something like that being around. Maybe one got a lot bigger, ate a couple kids, and you never know.
Wait, you think that the African cave bats ate a couple kids and made a creature?
No, they just got bigger. Like you keep feeding a fish. Put a fish in a tank, keep feeding it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't know.
Okay.
Just a thought. I mean, it could happen.
Interesting. I would like to stop you for 1 second. So,
okay,
if you're gonna look for Momo because they're cute, don't just search for Momo because there's that really creepy Japanese horror movie statue thing that came out a couple years ago.
Yeah,
that's terrifying. I hate that thing. It drives me insane. If somebody copies and pastes into the chat room, I will delete it. Okay. Yeah, you have to put like Missouri Monster or something like that to find it.
I could give the web page that is shown on, but I don't know if I'm allowed to do that or not. But
you can copy and paste the picture into the chat room.
I have no idea how to do that. Are you kidding me? I work on cars for a living.
You right click and you click copy. Okay.
Anyway, we will move on to Ogopogo. The Ogopogo is a vast water serpent that is said to reside in Lake Okanagan in British Columbia.
What was that one?
Okanagan.
Yeah, Okanagan.
Yeah, that's right. Okanagan. Right. Yeah. Sightings of the Ogopogo date back into the early 1800s, when the creature was originally known by the natives. And I'm gonna say that one, Nahatika. Pretty close. Meaning lake devil. The name Ogopogo was adopted until the 1920s, when it was lifted from the title of a popular English musical hall number called the Ogopogo.
Wait, so they named the monster after a random dance?
Yeah, and the dance is like a funny foxtrot.
Okay.
Yeah. Why? I don't know. So, I mean, it's called I'm Looking for the Ogopogo. The funny little Ogopogos. His mother was an earwig. His father was a whale. I'm going to put a little bit of salt on his tail.
What?
That's how it goes.
Can you sing that again?
Sure. I'm looking for the Ogopogo, the funny little Ogopogo. His mother was an earwig. His father was a whale. I'm going to put a little bit of salt on his tail. Yay! Yep. I'm telling you. That's British Columbia. You guys, rock on. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do these names gotta be so hard? Well, say it with me. Oh, no, you can't even say it. Ogoi Kahorkohoi. Oh, Al Gore
Yes, Al Gore Kahorkatoy.
Kahorkahoy. That's it. Al Gore Kahorkakoi. The name of the the name of the Al Gore Kahorkakor means
Invented the internet.
large intestine worm, and that's what it means in Mongolian. So, but it is 4 foot long subterranean cryptid. Is more like a giant earthworm than a parasitic tapeworm. Also known less subtly as the Mongolian death worm. The Algor Kahorkikul apparently lives beneath the sands of the southern Gobi Desert.
And invents the internet.
Yeah, only coming up to the surface in the warm summer months when the ground becomes too wet to survive, just like a regular worm. Sightings
Also
of the
because
worms,
of climate change.
yeah, sightings of the worms date back several centuries amongst the native Mongolians, many of whom have claimed the Algor Kahorkikor is he can spit venom or even acid from its mouth, while its body is apparently coated with a toxic slime that anyone who happens to touch it will be instantly killed.
Can you sing that song too?
The Al Gore Okie Corky Core. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So, didn't we see a movie about this before? You know?
I don't know.
Not the Al Gore Corky Core, but it was like Tremors or one of them underground worm movies.
Yeah, there was. Well, Beetlejuice had the worms too in the desert.
That's
remember?
true. Yeah.
And I think it was Tremors where they had the big worms that were trying to eat Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Because
everybody likes
bacon.
bacon. I mean,
everyone wants to eat bacon.
I'd be trying to eat bacon too. You know, not Kevin Bacon, but
his brother.
Yeah, maybe
the other bacon.
The other bacon. The Bacon Brothers bacon. Oh, well, I had Momo on her twice. Wow.
You did. I saw that. I was going to not say anything, but
well. Anyway, so we go past the Al Gore Kahorky Core.
Oh, Gregor also said, and Dune has big.
Oh yeah, Dune. I forgot about that.
I don't think I ever saw Dune.
Dune was with Sting, I guess. Played that.
Was it a musical?
I don't remember. I think it was kind of quirky like that.
Was it like Labyrinth, like one of those kind of movies where you feel like you're on acid the whole time?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was an 80s movie, so.
And somebody has a giant bulge. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know. The next one, I hope I'm not going too fast through these things. I know there's more out there, but this one is called Shuck.
Shucks.
A little bit easier to pronounce. The folklore of the British Isles is littered with tales of mysterious black dogs and supposedly haunt rural towns and villages across the country. The Shuck, a huge black hound. Now, I've seen a video of this. Anyway, we'll get to that. Is said to dwell in East Anglia on the far eastern coast of England. It's probably one of the most famous, having apparently attacked a church in the village of Bungsey, Suffolk. Okay, I won't even go there. I can't say it. During a thunderstorm in 1577. According to local records, the villagers were sheltering from the storm in the church. A huge black dog burst through the church door, killing a man and his son, and pulling down one of the pillars supporting the church steeple, which collapsed, into the nave. As it filled the church, the Shuck apparently left scorch marks in the wood of the church door that can still be seen to this day. Now, on one of them TV shows about, discovering this, discovering that, whatever. There was a video, and it was really, it was a sharp image of this huge black dog-like creature in the woods, and it came out and chased a local man's dog. And this thing, I swear by the looks of it, was standing, on all fours, but it looked to be like 4 foot tall, just standing there. It looked like a horse with a big dog horse, is the best way to describe it. But it chased this other dog around. So, this creature could actually be maybe real.
Yes.
Did you see it?
No.
No.
I did. I saw it was in my backyard yesterday.
Yeah, I bet. That's you tipped your cans over.
No, that was a giant ass squirrel.
Wasn't me.
Arnold Schwarzenegger squirrel. I mean, how many of these though do you think are like bears, wolves, coyotes that are just exaggerated?
Mutated?
Oh, there's a plushie version.
There's a what?
Oh, there's a plushie version.
A plushie version?
Yeah.
Like you can buy a plushie of it?
I did. I just put it in the chat room if anybody wants the plushie version.
Oh my gosh. Well, the one I seen on this video looked pretty convincing. It was huge. And it was definitely a wolf dog looking thing, but it was double the size of a regular wolf. And probably the people who follow these shows that,
yeah,
beyond unknown stuff or whatever, I don't know the exact name of them, but, I seen it and I was like, holy crap, and I'm pretty much a pessimist when it comes to a lot of that stuff, you're going to have to show me a dead one laying there or something, you know what I mean? Not just a grainy video, but this was pretty clear. Anyway, we'll go on to the next one. How about that? It's called the tassel worm.
Is it related to the Al Gore couture?
It could be. I'll see if there's a song that goes along with it, though. Tassel worms are lizard-like creatures. Here, lizard.
Then why is it called a tassel worm?
Well, let's find out. They are supposed to inhabit the most isolated regions of the Alps. You ever been to the Alps?
I have not. Actually, I have.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Which part of the Alps?
Well, I drove through the kind of the eastern side because we went from Italy through Switzerland into Austria.
Austria. Okay, the Austrian side.
Did I get eaten by a tassel worm? Is that what happened?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So all the accounts of their size and appearance vary. They're typically said to be around 2 to 5 feet in length, with a broad cat-like head and a wing or a wide gaping mouth. Their forelimbs are short and armed with long claws, but they have no hind legs, and instead their bodies taper into a long snake-like tail. So they have front legs, but not rear legs, so they're dragging themselves, I guess.
Yeah.
Numerous sightings of the creatures, which are known as tassel worms in Germany, Araciflans and Stalin worms in Switzerland.
No, go back to that. Arassas. In France. You went to France.
I said Arassas in France. Stalin worms in Switzerland and Bergstensens in Austria.
Sure.
And Basilicos in Italy, which have been made all over the Alps, including a recent spate of sightings reported in Italy's Il Girano newspaper as recently as 2009. So apparently this thing has long claws, short arms, no hind legs, and their bodies taper into a long snake-like tail, and has been seen as recently as 2009 from Italy, Austria, Germany, Switzerland. So, that's kind of freaky.
Well, I was thinking about that. There are some lizards that don't have back legs. I'm trying to think off the top of my head what they are. I mean, I can't off the top of my head remember. I think it's. I don't even remember that. Now I'm just like talking crap. But they do. They drag like the tail section.
Yeah, because like with lizards and stuff like that, you can cut their tail off and they regrow them, right? Something like that. I think so. Pretty sure. But who knows? But it's been seen by multiple people. So, when you see something like comes from folklore or older, written in text that, attacked villages and stuff, you're like, yeah, okay, it could have been anything. But then you're seeing like 4 different countries have numerous sightings of the same thing in the same regions. And it starts making you think like maybe there is something out there that, I mean, you're talking the Alps, you're talking, acres and acres and acres of land that's never been really, seen by human.
Yeah.
So who knows? That's the only thing I'll say about that is who knows? Yeah, maybe.
So Kara in our chat room says they're dragons because they're dragon.
Yes, that makes sense.
That's terrible,
Very
and I feel bad for reading that out loud. So actually, a really quick Google search while you were talking. There's actually a whole family of lizards. There's about 200 species of legless lizards. Some have a variety of front legs and no back legs. Some have front legs and what they call vestal back legs, which means they don't work. And some legless lizards are called glass snakes, but they're not snakes at all. Some of them have no legs, period. So, I mean, there are varieties of, this combination out there. So, I mean, not necessarily of this size, but at least,
Yeah, you can have a freak lizard. You know what I mean? Or 2. Oh.
Yeah.
Getting by Chernobyl a little bit. Whatever,
Yeah. Just wave it past the plutonium. We'll be fine. Oh.
Yeah.
Rain said it was much a better joke read than said. I apparently was not allowed to read the joke out loud.
Oh, my.
I'm sorry to have disappointed our chat room listeners.
I'm sure you haven't.
I did. They made a draggy face. But anyway.
Yeah.
One more and then we'll take a break.
Okay. We'll go on to a quick short one. And this is Tessie. Now,
that's such a nice name. Nice and gentle.
I know. It's so happy you think of happiness. Aunt Tessie. I mean, everybody's gotta have an Aunt Tessie. But Tahoe Tessie is a lake monster said to live in the waters of Lake Tahoe in Central California. Sightings of Tessie date back to at least the 19th century and usually describe a vast snake-like creature with a long neck and a humped back that swims so fast that they can't even catch up with sailboats to this creature. So strangely, according to local folklore, Tessie sightings are always more common in even-numbered years than odd. So, okay, I don't know why that would be, but, they always said Tessie is like the Loch Ness Monster of America. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of those kind of scattered around. Like every big lake has their version of the Loch Ness Monster.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's
Lake Michigan. Yeah, you've heard a lot of them creatures. But think about it, okay? If you were to have that much of an open mind and think that maybe at one point there is underground caverns an underground world that maybe something prehistoric could have survived or, I don't want to say breeded with something, but, evolved enough to, stay alive throughout the centuries, the millions of years, I should say. But talking about that, I mean, the oceans and everything are the least explored places on Earth.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest with you. The Loch Ness Monster is one of these few creatures that I kind of believe might still be hiding. Now, I don't necessarily believe that he's in Loch Ness. per se, because I mean it's a big loch, but it's not the world's biggest space for a monster like that to be. But I do, like you said, there's like underground caverns and things that are connecting, and there's a lot of that. So do I think that maybe there's one of these guys hanging out somewhere in the ocean, and maybe he travels into these inner, what do you call it, like lochs and lakes and things every once in a while, and pops up for a vacation? I don't know. Yeah, I could believe that.
Yeah, I mean these. You look at Loch Ness as you said, but some of the depths at Loch Ness are, incredibly deep, and and they have already proven that there is underground waterways helping to feed these things. And why not have, if a creature like this does exist in the oceans, and then like this one's saying, it only comes in on even numbered years, more than the odd number years. Maybe it's a feeding cycle, or even to lay eggs, or whatever. You know what I mean? There could be something to it.
Yeah. No, I this is the one creature that I can totally get behind and say this might be, of all the creatures available, of all the options presented, I think this would be the one I would put my money behind, probably existing somewhere.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that.
Yep. All right, guys, hang tight. We're going to talk more cryptids when we come back. You're listening to the Shadows Radio on the Para X Radio Network, and we'll be right back.
Hey, this is Barry Fitzgerald, and I'll see you in the shadows.
Listening to Para X.
Welcome back to the Shadows Radio here on the Para X Radio Network. I'm still Rebecca.
I'm still Bill, I think.
And we're talking cryptids tonight. We have covered some bizarre ones. We've covered some pretty common ones. We also talked about Al Gore.
Yes, and sang about him, or one of them.
You kind of sort of did sing about Al Gore there.
I know, right?
And we ticked off Kat in the chat room, who really hates it when we mispronounce every name in the entire descriptor. But guess what, Kat? You're listening to the wrong show.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll reiterate my last thing. I work on cars. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't. And I still mispronounce everything.
Well, it's hard. You got these. Okay, whatever. I mean, they're countries that big words.
There are more than 2 letters in my word, so I can't make sentence.
Hey, but in the chat room, I seen Rain had mentioned the fox cat is real.
Is he real?
I looked it up real quick.
Okay.
And the mysterious cat fox may be a newly discovered species, researchers say. On the French island of Corsica in the Mediterranean, a strange, rarely seen beast stalks the night. Well, anyway, locals call it, oh, yeah, okay, Jahavopi, the cat fox. And for
Let's just go with the cat fox.
Yeah. The last decade, scientists have been real hot on its trail trying to unravel the mystery. Now, agents of France's National Hunting and Wildlife Office have revealed that the work to the world a wild cat that they think might be previously unknown species. They believed, in quotes, we believe that as wild natural species, which was known as, excuse me, but not scientifically identified because of the extremely inconspicuous animal with nocturnal habits. ONCFS environmental technician Pierre Vendetti has stated that. So the feline had been a local legend for years, predator that would attack the udders of sheep and goats at night. But when one was accidentally trapped by a chicken coop overnight in 2008, they caught the attention of researchers. So basically, it did. It was kind of like a creature of the night that people had said that they seen, but it wasn't proven. But it looks like that they're actually proving that this feline type animal does exist. So, good job, Rain. How about that?
All right, so we found a cryptid that's not really a cryptid because it's.
Well, they're going to do DNA tests on it to see if it's actually, related to the type of felines that we, have on our couch right now, sleeping and stuff.
Don't call my children cats.
Yep, or totally a new species. So we will wait to hear about that. That would be interesting. And new species of different types of animals are being found every day. Different types of birds, and so who knows? Yeah.
Oh, Rain would also like you to go back to last year's Deconstructed and listen to the story of the fox cat. You'll probably learn a lot more than that 2 seconds we just did.
I'm sure, but I did just look it up on the internet as we, as we rolled. So, but I thank you for putting your thoughts into it, because that's what the chat room's about. And if we can really hit on it quickly and maybe go back to it eventually, that's a good thing. So, yeah.
Cool. All right, what else we got?
Okay, we have Yowie. Now, you said don't do Bigfoot stories. Well, yeah, guess what? Yowies are a species of the Bigfoot-like apes said to inhabit the Australian outback. Usually described as
was that supposed to be an Australian accent?
No, it was not.
You just had a twitch?
Usually described as, we will forget that happened, described as a tall and stocky and covered head to foot in a thick black or dark red fur. Most accounts of the Yowie sightings claim that the creatures are shy and easily spooked, although some tales claim that they are confrontational and can produce blood-curdling screams. Nowadays, the creatures are generally considered a myth. But in the 19th century, sightings were remarkably common, to the extent that in 1892, an Australian amateur adventurer and scholar named Herbert J. McCooey, who had supposedly spotted a Yowie near it says Batman's Bay? No, it's Bateman's Bay, in South Wales several years earlier. I know, I wish it was Batman's Bay. But they wrote to the Australian Museum of Sydney, offering to capture one of the creatures for a fee of 40, what's that, a franc or a pound? But it's around 3,000 US dollars, or 1,800 francs. Is that franc? Anyway, he failed. He didn't do it. They didn't pay him any money. So basically, another Bigfoot type sighting with no proof, no claims, no body, no nothing. So that is the Australian outback, mate. of the Yowie. What do you think about that, Rebecca?
That sounds like somebody tripped and stubbed their toe before they were trying to name that one.
Yowie. Yeah, the Yowie Wowie. This one, now I thought this was very interesting.
This is a metal or a punk band from the 90s.
Yeah, the Melonheads. And they are in Kirtland, Ohio. And were you a fan of the X-Files by any chance?
I was.
Okay, I happen to remember an episode when I was reading this about, I don't know if it was the Melonheads, but about these people that were kind of, deformed, and, they were just roaming the roads, But growing up, I always heard stories about Melonheads that lived in the woods between Kirtland and Sheridan, Ohio. The story, well, you were there. The story was that there was a doctor who lived in the woods who somehow acquired a bunch of children, possibly from a mental hospital.
Somehow acquired a bunch of children.
Yeah, he kind of like traded them off or something, but he got them from a mental hospital and performed experiments on them that caused their heads to become bulbous and misshapen. One night, the children revolted and burned down the doctor's house, and now they roam the woods looking for human contact. Now, I did, like I said, on the X-Files, they had a kind of a similar thing, So, yeah. I'm pretty sure if there are children with, bulbous and misshapen heads, and but they're still, kids that need to eat and have feelings and need to be loved. So I don't know about that one. Yeah,
I know, but yeah. I'm always stuck on somehow acquired. As one often does. Well, but what kind of experiments do you do that makes people's heads go bulbous?
Oh, who knows? Might have some kind of drugs, or I don't know. Got me.
Interesting.
Well, let's go to Maryland.
Okay.
And talk about the Snallygaster. I love these names, the Snallygaster. Anyway, even though, and I'm going to have a quote in this one, even though I had grown up in Maryland, Baltimore County, I first learned the legend of the Snallygaster just a few years ago in its latest incarnation as DC Beer's Jamboree of the same name. So they have a party. A Snallygaster is a dragon-like beast that was known to inhabit central Maryland and the Middletown area of Frederick County, out of the Maryland Panhandle.
Oh, no one tell Vicky from Dark Sun Radio, because that's where she lives.
I thought of one. I didn't think of Vicky being a Snallygaster.
No, just that's the area she lives in, like pretty darn close to there.
Yeah, hopefully she's listening and doesn't get word that we're calling her Snallygaster.
Or Smelly Gasser, as someone in our chat room just said.
Well, it would fly around quietly snatching people. And it was also reputed to have sharp teeth to suck the blood of its victims. Maybe it is.
So Vicky. It was a vampire?
It was a vampire, Vicky Valancourt. 7-pointed stars, still seen on barns to this day, were thought to keep the beast at bay. There were local newspaper. That sounds like a children's rhyme. Still seen on the barns today, there were thought to keep the beast at bay. There were local newspaper articles about in the 1909, which were later revealed to be a hoax, used to drum up subscriptions for the publishing newspaper. So the Snallygaster even makes an appearance in Fallout 76. Now, what's Fallout 76? It's like
That's
big
a
party
video
thing.
game.
Oh, now I get it. So, I guess they have Snallygaster parties and video game, and I'm sure Vicky knows all about it.
I'm pretty sure that she has no idea what you're talking about.
Really?
And she's gonna get really mad at you for calling her smelly.
I didn't call her smelly. You called her smelly.
I didn't call her smelly. Damien in the chat room there called her smelly.
I'm going to text her right now because, I got to make sure she doesn't think I called her smelly. But
she totally knows you did. She's
anyway.
All right. Next one.
Well, you don't want to go to the Bigfoot.
Not that I don't want to. It's just that we've covered it a lot, and there are Bigfoot shows on the network that do a much better job than we do.
Yeah, but this is a different side of Bigfoot.
All right, go ahead. Go to a
this
different
is human side of Bigfoot, anyway.
There's a human side of Bigfoot?
Right. Well, there's other, other ones that we could talk about too if you wanted.
No, sorry, go ahead. Talk Bigfoot. Big feet.
I like Bigfoot. Now, my son is, going to be 16 this year, but I know when he was about 8, 9, 10, his favorite show was hunting Bigfoot. And I even got him a necklace like the one guy had that had a Bigfoot on it. He was like all into it. So I had to watch, them guys making Bigfoot calls and stuff all the time. And he actually, and I think he still does to this day, wants to go out into the woods, like somewhere like in Oregon or California, Washington, and do like a Bigfoot hunt just because, So that's really cool, I think. But Bigfoot has been around forever. And I'm going to go we'll go just a real refresher beginning. In 1958, journalist Andrew Gonzalez of Humboldt Times highlighted in a fun, dubious letter from the reader of the loggers in Northern California who discovered mysterious large footprints. And in quotes, maybe we will have a relative of the abominable snowman in the Himalayas. So later, he simply thought that the mysterious footprints made a good Sunday morning story. But his surprise, it really fascinated the readers. So basically, you can see at the beginning, it started to become, just a tale from one person. But hey, we could probably get some ratings out of this thing. So that's where the Bigfoot legend was born, basically from there. So you have myths all over the world. We had the Yowie. We had different, ones from every corner of the world.
Yep.
So, what is the origin of the word Sasquatch? Is Sasquatch. That's from the Western Canada First Nation people. So that's where your Sasquatch came from. And of course, the most famous sighting of it is the Patterson Gremlin footage. And it's a 3.5 minute graining fall foliage, men riding horses and jerky pants. But it's famous. And, for decades afterwards, in every documentary about whether Bigfoot is real or fake, came across someone having fun with our new cameras. But also 2 minutes in, the lens of the rented 16 millimeter Kodak camera catches something strange. And that's, I think everybody in the world has seen the Patterson Gremlin footage.
Yeah. And if you have, I'm sure even if you don't know what it's called, you've seen it. It's the blurry footage,
Yeah, of the long strided ape-like creature, looks at you and then walks away. But I have seen some really good stuff that makes me wonder sometimes. But anyway, but to some, this definitive proof that Bigfoot is real, as mountain gorillas or narwhals. Narwhals, yeah. But for others, it's a hoax alongside videos claiming to show ghosts, aliens, lizard people, as we just talked about. But Gimlin knows exactly what they saw. So that day, he's pretty much, I believe is dead now. But he said it walked upright for quite a long ways. It didn't look like a bear. I've been in the woods my whole life. 86-year-old Gilman tells Popular Mechanics, there is no doubt in my mind that it was. So to him, that was Bigfoot. That was Sasquatch. So, whether or not it was Charlie in an ape suit going, yeah, screw you, to him, he knows what he saw. Mm-hmm. But you got to remember, many Native American cultures have written the legends of the primitive type creature roaming the continent's forests. So in the tales, the animals are sometimes more human-like and in other times more ape-like. The mythology of the, Kawakutui tribe that once heavily populated western coast of British Columbia, it was big, hairy female that lived deep in the mountains and forests. So, I don't know how to keep reiterating. It's just been through so many cultures, and so many people have said that they found it. So many articles, so many shows. I know you. I don't know, Rebecca, that you think that it does not exist or could not exist, but I know, throughout your years of doing this show and other things that you've done a lot of research on the subject. So, do you actually think that something like this could exist, or what's your take on it?
Do I think that at some point there was a giant human-sized ape rolling around? Yes. Do I think they still exist? I'm not entirely sure. I feel like we live in an area with enough technology and everything that we would have found them by now, or found some indisputable proof of them by now.
Right.
So that's my only skepticism is just that they're either the best at hide and go seek that I've ever met.
Right.
Or they did exist, because I mean, you're right. They are prolific throughout history, and all different cultures have some version of them.
Right.
Yet somehow nobody's ever actually seen one.
Right. Or a dead one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm to the point where I want Bigfoot to exist. Mm-hmm. I would think that this would be great to finally know that something evaded mankind for that long and lived in peace with their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they're not out to hurt us. If they exist, they're not here to hurt us. They just want to be left alone and do what they're doing in the woods, So I think that would
what
be
are they
so
doing
cool.
in the woods?
Hey, you never know. I want to go to this one real quick. I know we're running out of time.
Yeah, we got like 1 minute, so talk quick.
Okay. Is Bigfoot an alien?
Yes.
Rather than being the missing link between man and the apes, Bigfoot may possibly be an alien entity. This intriguing possibility is derived from the evidence in several UFO cases. So from 1988, cattlemen described it. Friendly Indians described it. One Indian told that they called them crazy bears, and they're cast out of the small moon that dropped from the sky and landed. So the moon being a spacecraft, and these crazy bears came out of the spacecraft. So, and I've heard this before, how quickly that they just disappear, that they could be like time jumpers or going through to a dimensional doorway. So, Bigfoot could be an alien.
He could be. This is plausible. Yeah, this is more plausible than some of the other theories I've heard.
I love throwing in the alien conspiracy on everything. It's awesome because there's always one.
Yes. But I mean, that's one of the things I heard. Somebody said, oh, like they're multidimensional creatures where like when they die, their bones go back to the plane that they, they come from. It's like, okay, sure.
They spotted a grayish ape-like creature with large downward angled snout, no neck, and a sizable waist, moving slowly. And then it entered into the light. About 5 minutes later, both Ape Man and the UFO disappeared. And this was October 25th, 1973.
Because no one was doing anything suspicious in the 70s that might make people see things.
No way. There's no acid or trips or
Yeah,
anything involved.
okay.
These are farmers.
On that note, we are done for the night. Thank you all for
Aliens.
bearing with us. Yes, Bill has got to go back to the mothership.
Yes.
Kat's going to go off and read her pronunciation guide and then throw it at Bill.
Send me a book.
And for me, I'm going to go, do some digging on the Foxcat and see if I can find a way to mail one out to Rain and see.
Okay.
But
awesome. Love our listeners.
As always, guys, I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Bill.
And we'll see you in the shadows.
What are you listening to? Heidi. Oh, hey, Steph. Hey. What has your attention? Oh, I'm listening to Para X, the calling radio show. Have you ever heard of it? No, I haven't. What's it all about? Well, it's hosted by three guys, Jerry, Alan, and Will, and they talk about paranormal investigations, UFOs, cryptozoology, psychic phenomenon, all sorts of stuff. Oh, well, it's kind of like The Gathering, but on Wednesday, right? Yep, you got it. The Calling. The Calling. The Calling. The Calling. The Calling. The Calling radio show every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time only on Para X.
In order for the light to shine so brightly, the darkness must be present. Tune in every Monday at 10 o'clock to Dark Sun Rising on the Para X Radio Network.
Vampires, werewolves, skinwalkers, all of this and more, Sunday nights at midnight on the Staring Into the Abyss radio show. Come, get lost with us.
It's time to learn your real talents. Learn what to focus on. Then change your perspective. Regain those divine intentions. Be empowered by what life throws at you. They are Psychic Little T and Jennifer Green, Nashville's astrologer. Tune in and discover who you really are and set free your passions. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Then You can follow your passions with renewed energy. May your journey